Hello, this is the American Developer. I'm here to talk about Python today. And one point of discussion I want to talk about is Python version 2 or Python version 3. Have actually haven't thought much about this, but I know that there is a version 3 of Python out there, and that's apparently the future development of Python, of course. But where I currently work, we still use Python 2.7, and I've been trying to figure out why don't we just upgrade our versioning and just go ahead and start with 3. So I pulled up this article from WikiLeaks and Wikipedia, actually, and I want to read this through and I'd like to have a comment, have a discussion going on with you. So first off, what are the differences? So from here it says that Python 2.x is legacy, and legacy is defined as an old method, technology, computer system, or application program that continues to be used, typically because it still functions for the user's needs, even though newer technology or more efficient methods of performing a task are now available. And that's coming from Google. I just did a simple Google search for what legacy means. I've also been trying to understand what that means as well, because my company, we always say, this is the legacy code, this is the legacy code. Like, what does that mean? So now it makes a little bit more sense now. So I hope that taught you something new today. So Python 3.0, I've already said, it's the present and future of the language. So 3.0 was released in 2008, and the final 2.x version is 2.7, which is what I have currently on my work machine as well as my home desktop here. So this release came out in the mid-2010 with the statement of extended support for this end-of-life release. The 2.x branch will see no new major releases after that. 3.x is under active development and has already seen over 5 years of stable releases, including version 3.3 in 2012, 3.4 in 2014, and 3.5 in 2015. This means that all recent standard library improvements, for example, are only available by default in Python 3.x. This guy's name, Guido van Rossum, please forgive me if I did not pronounce that correctly, the original creator of the Python language, decided to clean up Python 2.x properly with less regard for backwards compatibility than is the case for the new releases in the 2.x range. The most drastic improvement is the better Unicode support, with all the text strings being Unicode by default as well as Saner bytes Unicode separation. Besides several aspects of the core language, such as print and exec being statements, integers using floor division have been adjusted to be easier for newcomers to learn and to be more consistent with the rest of the language. And old cruft has been removed. For example, all classes are now new style range function, returns a memory, efficient iterable, not a list as in 2.x. So this there's a link for Python 3.0 documentation, so it provides an overview of the major language changes. So just for anything where you want to check out the updates and see what's new there. And then there's likely sources of incompatibility with existing 2.x code. I know one for sure is the print statement for the 2.x series. I know that one's a big one. I am curious if they've actually changed up the 3 series to not have to force you to tab everything, which is, I know for sure, in the 2 series you have to tab everything. I know that's what the compiler is reading as you're running that code. So However, the broader Python ecosystem has amassed a significant amount of quality software over the years. The downside of breaking backwards compatibility in 3.x is that some of the software, especially in in-house software and companies, still doesn't work on 3.x yet, which is my dilemma currently in my own company. I can't just simply upgrade because we all have the weird syntax changes that were part of the 2 series. So, me as a Python developer, what version should I use? Which version you ought to use, mostly dependent on what you want to get done. That's another reason why a lot of people have stuck with the 2 series, is it still meets all the needs for the Python developer. But continuing on, if you can do exactly what you want with the Python 3 series, great. There are a few minor downsides, such as very slightly worse library support. I can see that. Anything new, you're not going to have as much Stack Overflow support or people answering your questions when you get stuck. I can see that. And the fact that some current Linux distributions and Macs are still using 2.x as defaults. Oh well, that would be a good changer, deal breaker. Although Python 3 ships with many of them, but as a language, Python 3.x is definitely ready. As long as Python 3.x is installed on your users' computers, so your clients, which ought to be easy since many people reading this may only be developing something for themselves or an environment they control, and you're writing things where you know none of the Python 2 series modules are needed, it is an excellent choice. Also, most Linux distributions have Python 3.x already installed and all have it available for end users. Some are phasing out Python 2 as pre-installed default. In particular, instructors introducing Python to new programmers should consider teaching Python 3 first and introducing the differences in Python 2 afterwards. If necessary, since Python 3 eliminates many quirks that can unnecessarily trip up beginning programmers trying to learn Python 2. However, there are some key issues that may require you to use Python 2 rather than Python 3. Firstly, if you're developing to an environment you don't control, that may impose a specific version rather than allowing you to free select from the available versions. Secondly, if you want to use a specific third-party package or utility that doesn't yet have a released version that is compatible with Python 3, importing that package is a non-trivial task. You may choose to use Python 2 in order to retain access to that package. Python 3 already broadly supports creating GUI applications with Tkinter in the standard library. That's the UI module. Python 3 has been supported by PyQt, I don't know what that one is, almost from the day Python 3 was released. Those who are viewing this video, if you know what PyQt is or PySide is, go ahead and tell me in the comment section. PySide added Python 3 support in 2011. JTK Plus GUIs can be created with PyGObject, which supports Python 3 and its successor to PyGTK. So it looks like it's just going through other packages that it supports. Like I know NumPy, SciPy. There's a lot of good mathematical and science modules that are built in within the standard Python library. Oh, I like IPython. I use that one a lot for sure. So let's continuing down. Let me see if I'm really convinced if I should switch over to the 3 yet. But I wouldn't want to avoid 2 series. It's an old language with many mistakes, and it took a major version to get them out. Let's see here. Yeah, this mainly from what I'm getting is that Python 3 is still a newer version. There's a lot of newer cool stuff, but since there's still not enough support for it, Python 2 appears to still be the preferable version series for companies to use. So, to answer anyone's question, what version should I actually start learning? First, I would recommend the 2 series, since that's what companies are still using. And bear in mind that companies in general are pretty slow when it comes to upgrading their technology. Even though it is a technological company, they're still pretty slow moving their and upgrading their code base. So my answer would be the 2 series. But if you're into learning new syntax, new code, it would be good to learn the 3 series as well, just so you can start getting used to that. As companies start accepting the 3 series, then you will have an advantage compared to all the other developers that are stuck on the 2 series of Python. Well, thank you very much for watching this video. Please leave some comments and subscribe to my channel. I would like to continue doing some more reading, some more coding, some really gets involved with the technology community. Thank you very much. Have a good day.